Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for tonight. Normally it's today, but it's tonight I'm recording. As you guys can see, if you're watching the video, that there is no natural light flowing on me, but there is more than enough natural light flowing to and through and on my guests right now. We have Cassandra, also known as Sun, and Irie Sun, and so many other beautiful mantras that she is. And I connected with her as she showed appreciation on one of my live streams, and we decided that we wanted to connect and video chat today, and didn't even realize that this was going to turn into a podcast episode. But she was down to do it. I was like, we should record this. I'm like, sure. So that's what you guys are getting ready to hear now. We've already had the conversation, and I'm going to share it with you guys now because it's awesome to flow energy with other human beings. My favorite part of life. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Cassandra, and just so I make sure I have this part too. Share with the audience for me, just where you are, what you're focusing on, and like where you're from, and how long you've been where you are, and just that sort of thing. You can.
I'm Irie Sun, full name Sunyata Yukaya Cassandra Renee Shuit, and I was born just outside Madison, Wisconsin. I've traveled across the states and now reign in the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii. I've been here for 2 years, and that was the first time that I came into that question you asked earlier, which was, have I always been, this dreamlike state, this childlike state that we now occupy, when did it re-arrive in my life? That was one of the opulent times that it did. And that's what drove me out of Wisconsin to Phoenix. I flew there to explore realms outside of myself and allow myself to just start over and total new realm, like I was just emptied and I was just ready for whatever the next phase had for me. Phoenix, I was there for 6 months. That's when I started talking to angels. That's when I got my first energetic reading from someone who channeled information with tarot cards. And then a lot of other deep deaths and rebirths and all the good stuff. And then I traveled up to Oregon a couple months later, right before it got blazing hot in Phoenix. I was in Oregon for a summer in Eugene, and in between was a bunch of self-discovery. I went out of my birth name and I went by love, and that was a couple of the best months of my life for sure. And then I received my first name, which I went by for 1 year, Yukaya, in Ukiah, California. When I was passing by, I received that so now it's June of 2017, and I go to Beloved Fest and live in Eugene for 3 months. And then when I was in Eugene, I worked at this natural store called Sundance, and everyone, that's a really awesome spiritual community. The epicenter in Eugene is really clear. A lot of herbalists, magicians, people who are really connected to their channels. And everyone was either talking about Guatemala or Hawaii, and I noticed. And I worked as a cashier, so all these festival goers in my generation are coming through, and they're like, "Oh, I was in Guatemala. Oh, Hawaii, all these things." And I'm just a clear channel. I just kind of stay in my lane, my zone. So then it arose in me. I got an offer to drive down to Guatemala in a road trip, and then a soul brother of mine was flying to Hawaii, and I was sitting by the river one day, my friend, and I got the insight that I needed to go to Big Island with Cole, and so I just bought a ticket and we went 3 days later or something.
You're a really interesting human. I enjoy, you are. I like your flow. You're you're doing what I do a lot. You're like looking up and you're like channeling information from, you're just channeling energy into, and you're flowing it out. I love it. I always watch myself whenever I'm doing these podcasts, like I'll get flowing and I'll just be like pulling information and energy from everywhere and just flowing it out.
Yeah.
I recognize that in you, which just
Yeah.
a reflection of me. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, when were your first, so there's two types of people that I meet that, like, ones of us that, which very few that I talk to, where from the time they're young, like they're understanding that there's more going on than just like these like physical shells that we're in. Like they're starting to understand the things that you've come to know as you've evolved. And then there's others where like their families are just super supportive and they don't get in their way and they just can evolve as like from the time that they're little, little small, little unconditional loving beings, and can just evolve, which I don't see as common, because a lot of times the adults in our lives will tell us like, don't do this, or stop having so much fun, or like, you can't be that way, or you can't see that or feel that or any of that. So for you, was it
Right.
something that like the light bulb popped on for you? And because what you're describing as far as being led by intuition and hearing about Guatemala and Hawaii, like that's awesome. Like, is that just how you've been like your whole life, or was
I
that?
was brought up in a household that pushed back,
Okay.
but I was definitely conscious from the beginning. And I was kind of like one of those people that had to mute my gifts in order to get through those years. And they naturally reawakened when they were ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a regular upbringing. No, I didn't. Not regular, but I had a joyful. What I meant to say is joyful. I had a joyful, like, I had a really fucking unique structure, but I had within it the balance that allowed my human self to develop, and then my metaphysical self developed more and was able to come out of the shell when I was in high school, and I went through, my dark night, went through a year-long deep darkness that ended in December of 2012, of course, which I realized like a couple years later, which just lights me up. Just matter of factly, because of how cool that is. Because I didn't realize, because, whatever, just coolness in the universe.
12/12 was significant. 12/12/12 was significant for me as well. That time of life, that signified my freedom from corporate America and working jobs that I didn't want to be working at. Like that was an important part of life for me as far as evolving. And I always remember it just because it was like 12/12/12. Like someone joined a business that I was putting lots of time and energy into, and because that person joined the business, then lots of stuff evolved in the next year. Yeah. So super easy to remember 12/12/12. That's when they joined the business.
Yeah, and that's when the Mayan calendar, that's when the whole thing sped up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure. So for you, like since then it's just been, because what I know about all of us is once we become aware of just who and what we truly are, we can't become unaware. And so it's just a matter of how open we are to receiving synchronicities, whether it be through meeting with other people that come into our life, or information, books, YouTube these days. I mean, it could come in so many different ways. So like since then, have you just noticed, or maybe before then, just your openness to evolving and allowing yourself to evolve and become aware of more things that have helped you in your journey?
That was my pivotal moment I was a sophomore in high school, so I was transitioning. That was my time of discovering philosophy and psychology. So I was 16. I was at that turn. I dove straight into chakras, philosophy, Eastern Tibetan Buddhism, Nepal, and then Alan Watts and like Nikola Tesla. And that Christmas got The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life and by Jodhvala Melchizedek. And Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. Those are my two like books that came to me through my family members for Christmas. That I was exploring. I had discovered a new artistic side of my spirit and my soul, one that wasn't identified with the popular culture of my school or the anything, all the things that had irritated me before. I had like pierced the veil. Before my depression, I was very popular. I wore Hollister, Abercrombie, American Eagle, and I've always been a choir student, but I was more on the quote prep, I don't even know what that means, side, the naivety, innocent naivety. And then on the other side of the depression, throughout the whole year I was depressed, I was pretty much really pissed off at the entire world because I was transmuting all of the things that were minute about the way that the people were acting around me and how they, weren't in tune with things that they could be in tune with deeper. I went there. So when I came out on the other side, I was even deeperly artistic, philosophical. I was just always meditating, always like in my world and allowing myself to be like in my own world. Like, man, those were some good times.
You're still in your own world. I've noticed about you.
Yeah, I'm still in my own world. That's the place we gotta be, right? And then like open your world to the other people.
So true. So true. That's profound what Cassandra just shared right there. What do you go by now? I know you're on your thing, it says Irie, because Cassandra on your Facebook page, what does one call you? You mentioned three different names so far on this episode.
Don't know. I'm pretty sure a simple medium is Sun.
You may call you Sun?
Yeah.
Or just awesome?
Because I got Cassandra, Irie Sun, and Sun Yatza. So just call me Sun.
That's easy. I can do that. I love it. No, that's profound what Sun just shared as far as, living in your own world and allowing, because I look at life as a movie and all of us are the star. And, we get to decide which other movie characters we want to be in our movie at any given time, where we want this movie to take place. Like yours went from Wisconsin and now you're in Hawaii and different parts of Hawaii. And now, I'm in your movie, you're in mine, and we're like playing with each other in this movie screen now. And it's just, if we can be all of us good with our own, movie, our own life and what we're, inspired to do in it and how we want to evolve and the books we're inspired to read and the people we're inspired to meet and all these things, then we can be open to, things that we can't predict right now that are going to show up on our movie screen, but are like awesome plot twists of things that we want to be, do, and have. And that's really one of my favorite parts of life, is not the favorite part, is that we don't have to like set the whole plot up. Like we don't have to sit down with the script and like write it all out in like full detail. We can know which things we want to see in our movie show up, whether it be in areas of relationship, health, financially, or impact, fulfillment, fun. And we can know which things that we want to see, but we don't have to know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who it's going to be, what needs to happen, before I can have all of these things. Like all we have to really think about and that we can control is like, what's our vibe, what's our frequency, what's our mood and energy, like right here and now. And then from that, we're going to reflect out the way, the synchronicities, the people that we need to meet, the ideas that we need to have in order to have that movie play out exactly how we want it to play out. And it could be anything that we want. Like we're the writer, we're the director, we're the producer. And that's really my favorite thing to know about life. And for you to know that already at such an early age is awesome, because I just did the math, and you're not supposed to tell girls' ages, but I know that you're about 24 by how you just described life. So, which is awesome, because I wasn't there yet at 24. I had a mentor share the first spiritual book that I ever read on Law of Attraction, which was written in 1919 by Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. He's a pastor. I had a mentor share that with me when I was 26, and that like opened my eyes up, and I was like, ooh, like I want to. Then I was just open and allow myself to evolve, from there. So I don't know if there was a question in that, but I was just like complimenting you on already saying something so profound that you're in your own world and you're good with that and just doing the things
No,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Time's speeding up. We got babies coming out that are already like, you see the Times Woman of the Year from
I didn't see that.
Switzerland.
Uh-uh.
I think she's 17, and
Really?
she's the one who brought all the protests together around the world. And she has like Asperger's,
Okay.
and she is just a 17-year-old genius. We got our babies guiding us. So without you, at whatever moment that you did the thing, I wouldn't be able to do the thing. So timelessly,
We're all connected.
yeah.
For sure. I love knowing that the same non-physical energy. Where did you just have this coffee or tea show up out of nowhere? Someone just like served you, like all of a sudden she just had a big mug of like tea show up. I didn't see. Did a hand pop in and like hand you that? I missed it.
Oh Lord.
No, what I love knowing about life and just all of us is that the same non-physical energy, call it God, universe, love, source energy, all that is spirit, the force, I had a guest call it recently, is flowing to and through and who all of us truly are. And so there's no special breed of human walking this earth. So anytime I get to meet someone, and that's why I was inspired to talk to you, that is just enjoying being them and flowing that energy through them, however they are choosing to flow it through them, for them in their life. I'm just really inspired by that and excited for them, rooting for them, even though I didn't even know that you existed like 2 weeks ago. But you shared you just shared love on which by the way, that's the podcast that's coming out today, the one that you commented on live with Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, but just you sharing love put you in my attention, and then immediately I go and see what you're doing. I'm like, this girl is awesome. Like, I love what she's doing and how she's just being herself. And here we are. And for you guys out there in the audience, I didn't even know we were having this podcast tonight. You guys never really see me record at night, but then we got on the phone. Like, we decided to connect today, and I was like, I want to record this. Are you down to do a podcast with me? And she's totally down. So that's why we're talking right now, recording.
Irie.
You're awesome. I love it. So out there in Hawaii, and you're doing some cool stuff right now that you're inspired to do. Right now we're at the beginning of 2020. Is that your main focus right now of excitement, or what else is going on in the world of?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually developing my music and my art. So I'm finally coming around the corridor to be able to develop myself socially and like professionally. So I'm sitting here in my home studio and developing that's my personal avenue right now, and that's what's flourishing, everything that's going on.
What kind of art do you, what type of art? Drawing, painting, sculpting, photography?
I draw and paint.
Okay. Awesome. I have so much appreciation for all the arts. One, because that's the cool thing about sharing a planet with 7.7 billion humans, is we're all drawn to different things and have different gifts and different things that we're excited to put our attention and energy into. And because we're all so different, that's what allows the world to evolve how it does. Because if we were all interested in only one thing, then we just have a lot of one thing and nothing of anything else. So art has always been something that I've had a huge appreciation for. But I noticed that as a kid, like, I was way better at like I was a baseball player. So I was way better at like hitting like balls and like playing like physical things. And I couldn't really draw like even a straight line on a paper. So I was like, I really love art and like watching all you guys. I just don't know if I'll be able to do it. So I have so much appreciation for artists and musicians and everybody that does their thing.
I actually have a vision for that for all of us. I have a temple vision that's immortality. That's what you have seen maybe so on both pages. I have it listed. that's the website I just launched of my vision for of the temple that the Immortal Liberty Temple. One of the branches is it's the Temple of Purification. So the aspects of purification branch into what I coined as 4 pillars. We have nutritional purification, where we do our whole body routine, our visceral reality purifying of our organs, our skin, our body. We have our mind purification, which is the meditation, the focus, the precision, the clarity, the atonement, rewiring. And we have expressional purification, which allows us all to access our lucid dream state and create from it. So utilizing the purification of the mind as well as just like the free spirit to access your lucid awakening that is that childlike innocence that allows us to put a pencil to a paper and not even fucking think about what's going to come out, but let your hand move wherever it moves. And maybe you see a little bit of shading coming under there and you shade it a little bit or whatever. And we do exercises and parties, art halls that allow us to explore that. And that's a really fun idea for me, for someone like you who came from the more sports background without the art background, and then for me who came from the more art background and the less sports background. It's really cool to merge those 2 worlds and see what we can do. Right?
For sure. I'm so appreciative of what everybody is like passionate about. It's just because it's fun for me to experience moments with someone that is passionate about something that I haven't had the life experience that they've had doing that. Because I'm naturally really curious and I want to know like what you know about this thing, whatever it is, because you have way more life experience than me when it comes to that. So then I could hear like what you're passionate about and I could feel the appreciation, and it's the same energy that's flowing through you that I flow through me to, do this podcast and building the community that I'm building and everything else that we spend our time doing. Like it's the same energy flowing through us. It's just flown in different expressions. So it's beautiful. Like I root for everybody to really connect with whatever is most like fulfilling and fun for them. And then the more that we flow energy towards that and attention towards that, we start to see awesome things manifest. And we're not doing it for the manifestation. We're just doing it for the fun of it and the enjoyment of it. But as a result, anything that we put enough attention and energy on, we're going to see manifest things that, whatever it is that we want to manifest when it comes to that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so cool.
You're awesome. Awesome human. I like
You're
talking
awesome human.
Sitting in the daylight. Only person in the U.S. still in daylight right now. I love it. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon where you are, right? 3?
Yeah.
Hawaii?
4:22.
Oh yeah, the time doesn't change in Hawaii, which is smart. I don't know why we changed the time. It gets dark here at like 5:45 now at night. So
yeah,
I'll be excited when that switches back. But very cool. Well, question that I like to ask everybody, and I'm curious from you, just out of everything you become aware of in your life, which we've already established that you're an awesome human and know and are aware of a lot at an early age, for any age really, because some people they're not at their phase of evolution where the light bulb switches on even while they're here in this lifetime. And we could talk about, wait, before I even go here and ask you this, you mentioned, which I haven't talked about on any of these episodes, but I feel like it's a fascinating part of life. So you were able to lucid dream on purpose? Are you at that stage?
Not on purpose.
Okay.
Well, kind of. I'm getting there.
It's an intention for you, for sure. Something.
Yeah, because when I go to sleep, I intend to meditate rather than to sleep. Mm-hmm. So then it allows that space.
Yeah, that's awesome. For anybody out there listening, if you've never heard of or thought about lucid dreaming, it's awesome, where you can literally realize you're in your sleep state, but you can realize that you're dreaming, but not like fully awake. So you can actually do what you want to do in your dream. Like you can live out whatever you want to live out. So I've got a couple of books on it, and I haven't set it as an intention yet to master. That's why I asked you, could you just do it by by choice at any time. I could just imagine that. I feel like I'd be so, I'd have like a motive where I would just like want to do all these like fun things. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'd have a lot of sex in my lucid dreams, and doing lots of, like it would just be lots of, it would be lots of like, it'd just be pure pleasure. Like there would just be no, be the only thing that I would probably decide to do, I guess, until I got tired of that, and then who knows what else.
Yeah.
But
That'd be really healing.
yeah,
And then move on when you're ready. Hey.
yeah,
That's exactly it.
it's a very interesting part of life. It's a very fascinating part of life for sure. I think I had this story, personal story, that I stopped like having it be an intention because I have the habit and getting a little better, but I stay up really, really, really late. So when I like sleep, like I'm like out. So like to even remember dreams for me is not as common. I just sleep really deep, and then, I mean, it's normally not for like a full 8 hours, which is kind of nice if I can get that. Like I appreciate it even more now, but I've been trying to get to bed earlier and then have like a more of a normal sleep cycle so that I could do some things of this nature and have some fun lucid dreaming. That definitely keep me posted on your antics of lucid dreaming. If you
Yeah, man, I had the wildest dreams of my life the other night. I woke up, I posted a video on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it. It's the one where I was like, be silly,
okay.
effervescent soul, and the dreams were just ludicrous. And they felt so real. And so I woke up and I'm still living here. Worlds merged. I don't even know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, what do you want to share with anyone? Anything that flows out of you, any area of life that you feel like you could, no matter when someone hears this, you feel like by them just being aware of this that you've become aware of could impact their lives whenever they hear it. Anything that flows out of you from that place.
The essence of presence is all about allowing your self to dissolve while remaining acutely aware. So the timelessness of the universe is dependent on your receptivity to feel the sensations of life itself. All things behind the scenes have nothing to do with your conscious mind. Ultimately, when you navigate this life, you're focusing on the senses and the responses. Because when you find your pure responses, you've found your golden thread that you that you have been on the entire time, but you may have swayed from this or this as we come into the deeper findings of ourselves. So that holds any meaning.
I love how you put your face into the light and just like channeling from the light beam. I love it. I love it.
Son.
As human beings, we're such reflections of each other. So like what I appreciate, like my brain wants to call you Cassandra because that's how I see you on Facebook. Son, I like as well. But we're such reflections of each other. So this is a reminder for everybody out there. Like if you ever find yourself being critical of someone or, judging someone or going, or just being appreciative of someone, that's just reflecting from the inside of you. So all that Cassandra knows of me is that first what I know of her is that she was showing appreciation initially, which is the only way that I even knew she existed, because she commented on a live podcast that I was streaming. And then all of a sudden my attention went on her, and it was just a pure reflection. It was just showing tons of appreciation to her for who she is and how she's being and how she's choosing to live her life and show up in the world. And so I've sent her a couple of voice messages just showing that appreciation, because if you guys out there know me, or if I've invited you on any podcast or anything, you guys know that I will send a voice message quick if I'm inspired to send it. Like I don't second guess it. I just will send it, because I don't hold inside love and light. Like I want to it's in me, it's flowing through me, and I want to share it in any chance that I get. So I just think it's awesome because I pointed out a couple of times in this, just talking to her and seeing her on video, how she's like, I'm doing it right now, how she's like channeling up and just flowing energy from the light. And I noticed that in you, because I'll be watching these replays and I'll be like, damn, I'm like up here, like, and it's like it's like up and to the left is like where I'm grasping. Like it's really interesting. But you're just in the creative, like you're just channeling from that frequency. It's like tuning your radio to like a certain radio station so that you can channel, so you can hear the music on that channel. We're just like in a loving channel that we're just like, okay, let me flow out whatever flows out from here. So I appreciate it. Keep doing you. Not that you would ever stop, but keep doing that. Everything that you're inspired to share it. I know you are. Music, art, poems, all this stuff. You had an awesome flow that's what made me send the last voice message. You flowed a poem out that was like, I was like, dang, she's flowing.
Yeah, we stoked about what's coming forth.
I love it.
It'll be really cool.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation. Thank you for sharing your love and light with us. You're an awesome human. I think I've said that many times this episode, and I feel like the audience definitely agrees, and definitely connect with Cassandra here on social media. I can't say your full name. It's beautiful. There's way too many names to follow that. So connect with her on social media and see what she's doing, because I know one thing's for sure: anything she chooses to create while she's here is going to have this beautiful energy that she shared in this conversation in that as well, and it'll be awesome, whatever it is. So definitely connect with her. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Definitely share this with anyone you're inspired to share it with, and spread love and light that way. And we'll continue recording awesome episodes with beautiful humans like Cassandra, and just excited to root for everybody out there. Happy New Year. I'm gonna say it all year, I've decided. And definitely sending positive vibes to you all whenever you are seeing it.
Hey.
We'll talk with you soon. so much vibration has knocked over your phone. So much vibes. All right, you guys, we'll talk to everybody soon. Have an amazing day. Awesome. It feels good that we recorded some of that. I like it. It'll be fun for me.
So fun.
Yeah.